A significant lesson that life teaches you on the twin flame journey is that of detachment. So, this detachment is from your family, from your friendships, from any kind of an identity you have created, and based on that identity, the relationships that you have. And most importantly, it shows you how to detach from your twin, because you don't find your twin flame in a lower vibrational energy of attachment, expectation, and wanting them to be around you from that lower vibrational space where you feel like you need them to survive, you need them to live a good life. Till you stay in these energies and in these and expectations, life will keep bringing you back to yourself time and time again. This I remember, used to be a message in Taoist interpretations as well, the interpretations of the Tao Te Ching, which I used to read many years ago, way before my twin flame journey. And that line about how life brings you back to yourself used to really hit me, and I used to always wonder, like, this is so true. And this is true, especially true for your twin flame journey when it becomes a reality for you, when you start to really see that life is bringing you back to yourself. You can't, have any codependence anymore, whether on your friendships, on people around you, on your family. Everything will undergo such a shift for you. And it's not a bad thing, really, if you can learn detachment. What you basically learn through that is unconditional love. Only when we detach can we move into unconditional love. Till we are very attached to the outcome, till we are very attached to what is going to happen in our lives and to people around us, and we are pursuing something, relentlessly. We are pursuing a sort of an external arrangement to make ourselves happy, including creating an external arrangement with our twin flame to feel better about ourselves. This is what life will not let you do, and this is exactly what your twin will not let you do. So, detachment, one way to have detachment, and I know it is not natural for you to start detaching from day one or something. It's a place you come to very naturally, and life prepares you for this detachment. There will be a succession of detachments that you undergo before you are ready to detach from your twin. And those succession of detachments include detachments from your friends, from your family, um, from even your parents, even, maybe your children if you have them, your pets, the closest people in your life that you don't even ever think about leaving behind are the people that you learn to detach yourself from. And then finally, you're ready to also detach from your twin flame. Understanding that this happens because the only source that you have that is replenishing you, that is nourishing you, that has you, that is holding you is that of God. And God holds you in many ways. God holds you in the form of a guru. God holds you in the form of a Devi, in the form of Shiva, in the form of these high order divine masculine and divine feminine energies that you can look up to as divine parents, like Mother Earth or Divine Father. Um, God holds you in the form of your spirit guides. God holds you in the form of your higher self, which is already a realized being, just having this experience through you. And when you start to associate yourself with that, this is where you start to understand and realize that you don't have to attach yourself to the 3D person of your twin flame, to pursuing them or waiting for them or wondering what they're up to, or is my inner work working for them. It just becomes about you. Even the inner work that you do is for you. It's not for your twin flame journey. After a point of time, you may start it off as something you want to do to come into union, but eventually you start doing your inner work because you want to have a wonderful life. You want your kundalini to rise properly. You start enjoying the peace that you feel after releasing your subconscious blocks, or after meditating, after exercising, after doing yoga, after creating a wonderful life for yourself, you start to love doing your life purpose work. If you're doing that, whether it's creative expression or it's helping anybody, you start to feel that wholesomeness, which comes by offering yourself to someone else. And this offering yourself is not something which is diminishing you, but it is just something that you're really enjoying, that you're really sort of um, able to do very naturally. It's just something that what you're going through, you're able to take other people through it, or you're just expressing yourself in the most raw way, in the most un sort of you're not contriving, the expression of your work. It's such a natural effort, it's not a contrived effort. And that natural expression is what is so uplifting for people around you. And that unhesitating expression, that becomes very beautiful, and that becomes very naturally uplifting. So your inner work will start impacting other people around you as well. As you have more and more peace inside of you, you will bounce back from triggers. You will somewhere start holding space for other people going through what they are going through. It comes very naturally, it comes very effortlessly. And in the same way, you will also notice that if you have triggers coming in your twin flame journey, they don't make or break you completely. With time, those triggers are just the triggers that you learn to take in your stride. As much as they challenge you, as much as they impact you, you understand that there is a purpose here, which is that my twin is triggering me so I may grow. And you're only thankful, to your twin flame, the teacher that they are for you. And this is what this journey is really about. It teaches you detachment, but detachment which comes through connection with God, detachment which comes in phases. You learn how to detach yourself bit by bit by bit, and from people often that you're most attached to. Like, if I am to share something, with you in my journey when I had just met my twin, I was very attached to my grandmother, and extremely attached. Like, she was more important to me than any other human being on earth because she had raised me. And just the moment, my journey had started, a few weeks in, my grandmother fell very sick, and she was hospitalized, and she was very ill, for 7 8 months. And I was by her side looking after her, and there were a lot of challenges that were happening in my life. And then when she passed away, the whole lesson, for me, was to understand that detachment, in the sense that what I had always thought was that if my grandmother passes away, it will be very difficult for me to live, after, because of how attached I was to her. But in that whole process, I learned to detach um, my life, from the continuity of her life. In some sense, you learn that your life still goes on, and you shift from attachment into love, into a space of unconditional love, which doesn't have to, which is not restricted by the body, which is not restricted by the physical form of the person. So, this was a lesson. So, detachment is literally the main lesson that you learn through your journey. And then successively, you will learn to detach yourself from, your maybe the peers in your life, like your friends who are not that good for you, or your exes who may still be lingering around, or your colleagues who may be toxic, or toxic job situations that you're in, because most modern day jobs are like modern slavery, and they really sort of just eat at your soul. So you may start to learn how to release that, and then slowly and gradually it'll really just bring you back to yourself. And eventually you will also learn to detach from your twin flame, because you will start to see that you don't really, in the oneness that you start experiencing through connecting with God, through connecting with yourself, that oneness already includes your twin. You don't have to separately go and find your oneness with your twin flame or something of the sort. So that is a shift that you will undergo. And at the end of the day, always remember whatever you need in your life, you already have it. You are a complete life in yourself. And that is a very important lesson for many divine feminines, to know that they are complete in themselves, right? That they don't really need anybody to be there in their lives in that physical form. And if you're approaching your twin flame from that needy perspective, that I need you to be here, to text me, to call me, and to be around me, then that is when they are very repelled, because that neediness is coming from your lower energies, your lower chakras, unhealed energies, especially. And when you operate from your lower form with your twin, you cause a lot of, you repel your twin flame, and even your twin flame operating from that lower form can repel you. So this is largely the lesson of this journey, that you are very powerful, that you don't have to attach yourself to anyone. It is, after all, a spiritual journey. And most people know that spirituality includes a lot of detachment. That is the first thing, first rule of thumb for any spiritual practice by any spiritual guru, whether it's the Buddha or it's Osho or anyone, that you've come across, the Hindu traditions of spirituality, or even the Taoist traditions. They all speak of this in one form or the other, using different languages. But it all comes down to that the pursuit of truth is not going to be found in the physical connections around you that you see, but the pursuit of truth is always very internalized. It is always within you that you find God, that you find yourself, that you find the truth of existence, that you also find your twin flame. So, yeah, and one more thing on which maybe I will create a separate podcast is that realizing and learning that whenever you are attached to any identity of yourself, a false identity, whether it is a false identity of, connecting to your body or your mind, or a certain, like, I am like this or I am like that. Like, if you're supposed to write 5 sentences describing and explaining you, those 5 identities are the identities, or whatever it is, are the identities your twin will always mirror back to you in such a way that you'd have to let go of those identities. So that is another detachment. Another layer to detachment is to let go of the identities you have about who you are. Like, for instance, my name is XYZ and I do this and I'm like this and I like doing that. These are my hobbies. And if you start connecting or explaining yourself to be XYZ, and who does all of these things, these are also at a very deep level. You have to detach even from these identities, because these are, after all, created by your ego. So this is all I wanted to speak about today. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to speak more about this identity bit that I spoke of, the false identities, because that is something that can really be, elaborated upon. If you're interested, I can elaborate it and I can explain it more to you. Otherwise, have a beautiful, wonderful day. Sending you lots of love. And if you want to connect with me through a one-on-one session, then all you have to do is email me to book a session, to go within, to go deeper into your healing, understanding your journey, especially releasing your subconscious wounds, any kind of struggles that you have in your journey right now. You can email me and book a session with me. And take care, guys. Sending you love. Bye bye.